Hey, it's the Empire, Jew Boxing Empire, Backstore Boxing. Now, man, you guys see it, man. Chris Eubank Jr., man, boxing with one hand. He has one glove on, one glove off, and he's boxing, just pure boxing. Throwing a jab, moving left, moving right, throwing his jab. Really basic, fundamental things that Roy Jones Jr. is teaching him. He's even teaching him that pullback straight right, which is really great, man. But, Roy Jones Jr. has always been a instinctive type fighter. He's always relied on his instincts. Everyone was saying when his instincts, fell off and his speed slowed down just a little bit, he wasn't the same kind of fighter. And he's trying to give that same gift to Chris Eubank Jr. Roy Jones Jr. already knows Chris Eubank Jr. has athleticism to pull off what he pulled off. He's just putting icing on a cake and making Chris Eubank Jr. more of an athletic defensive fighter instead of a hyper-aggressive fighter who comes in the inside and throws a billion combinations. Now, this is a good look for Chris Eubank Jr. I personally think he needs to work on his defense more and be more of a counterpuncher that those combinations after he counters people instead of just a instinctive type fighter. But, working on his fundamentals, boxing with one glove is a good idea. Having Roy Jones Jr. train you on lockdown when there's a quarantine going on is incredible, man. Chris Eubank Jr. got really lucky that Roy Jones Jr. even, there's thousands of boxers in the world, and Chris Eubank Jr. has Roy Jones Jr. training him. He's lucky to have that blessing. A lot of times these older fighters, you don't really see too many older fighters train these younger fighters. It's crazy stuff, man. It's almost like there's a disconnect between the younger generation and the older generation. So maybe these young fighters don't really reach out to these older ones, but it's crazy because I don't know. You see a lot of these fighters come up with their trainer training them, and they could be training since they're kids. But if you could pick between Roy Jones Jr. and some trainer, I'd pick Roy Jones Jr. any day. So the fact that Chris Eubank Jr. is training with a legend, all-time great like Roy Jones Jr. is astonishing, man. We're going to really see a shift in Chris Eubank Jr.'s style in his next fight. He's always been a good boxer, but now he's going to be more... When you watch Floyd Mayweather box, when he beats you, it's like watching a moving portrait. It's just a work of art. If you actually watch Roy Jones Jr. knockouts, it's like... It's not even devastating knockouts. It's just like, it's beautiful. The way he moves, he makes it look effortless. So, we're going to see more of that with Chris Eubank Jr. And, I seen Chris Eubank Jr.'s fights. Most of the time they're like this, he just out testosterones you in the inside, and he just destroys you. There's been a couple of fights where he just outboxes you, like Nick Blackwell when he completely destroyed him. We were talking about high level stuff. You're talking about, elite level fighters. It's one thing to beat up some contender or prospect like that, but it's one thing to make a champion look like nothing. So we really want to see Chris Eubank Jr. do that to world-class athletes. It's one thing to do it to a rising prospect, a top contender, and it's one thing to do it to a champion. Hopefully Chris Eubank Jr. could do it to a champion. His downfall is boxers, like George Groves, Billy Joe Saunders, people like that. And hopefully he can actually box on the outside. Now, that being said, I think what he's doing with the one glove thing is cool, but in my opinion, he should be boxing on the outside, and other guys should be trying to be aggressive in the outside as well. I think he needs to have both his gloves on and throw his jab and have a guy trying to come at him with two hands instead of just one hand. In a real fight, one guy is just not going to be jabbing you the whole time. He's going to try to hurt you. So I think that not only does Chris Eubank Jr. need to actually box, but he needs to box with a guy trying to come forward with one hand. He needs to be able to control someone with one hand, which is what I'm really trying to get to. I think that would be the best thing for him instead of just trying to, him and that other guy he's fighting only have one glove on, which is the left glove, trying to jab each other on the outside. If you really want to control someone and outbox someone, do it with one hand. Do it with just your left hand. And then make sure he comes forward with two hands, and make sure you can go backwards with your left hand and be defensive, and be forward with your left hand and be a defensive, aggressive fighter, where you can come forward with one hand and still control the pace. That's what Chris Eubank Jr. needs. He needs to be able to control the fight with just one hand. That's how you know you're a boxer, when you can control someone with a jab. So that's what I really want to see with Chris Eubank Jr. But then again, I mean, Chris Eubank Jr. Yeah, Chris Eubank Jr. So we're gonna see how Roy Jones trains him. In my opinion, Roy Jones, at least from far out as I know, I think Chris Eubank Jr. is probably one of the most elite fighters that Roy Jones Jr. has ever trained because he has the most potential. That's why Roy Jones Jr. trains him. I think Roy Jones Jr. trains people he sees that have really great potential, at least the way he wants to train them. Because there's one thing to train someone on the fundamentals, and there's one thing to train someone how to fight like you. Chris Eubank Jr. is getting trained to fight like Roy Jones Jr. So that's a really big deal, man. The middleweight division is going to be on watch right now, and Chris Eubank Jr. is going to come with a nice, crisp, elusive style. So I'm really excited to see this, man. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Chris Eubank Jr. training with Roy Jones Jr. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Eubank Empire. Peace.